Hello, welcome back to Man Matters Podcast. Dervin and one of our favorite guests, Maria Rios, co-hosting today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
How are you like competition wise? Like recently, have you seen some of the competitions that are coming up as well in the scene?
Um, so for me personally,
Yeah.
um, so the last couple competitions I did were team competitions, which were surprising. Well, I knew they were going to be fun, but I didn't realize how much fun they were going to be. The first one was a tag team, I think it was 4 teams, and that was just it was crazy. It was such chaos and so much fun. I absolutely loved it. And I'm doing another tag team in September. And then I did a team competition. It was a trio, not tag team, but it was set up that one person would go in at a time, and if you got submitted, you were out, or if time ran out, you were done. So, and then there was, I think, 8 teams, and our team took 2nd, so it was good. It was
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
good.
fun.
They were like quintet rules,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah, mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed. I mean, you're there with your team, but it was I don't know, it was a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's, like, very there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, and I think that that's why part of the reason I liked it so much is because we had to, like, plan out, like a plan of attack, like, we're going into battle, like, who goes first and
Yeah.
what happens, like, if this goes down, and then who's gonna sub in and all these different things, so I really like that part of it. Regular competing is great, but you just have, like, your game plan, you're gonna go in there, and if it doesn't go the way you want it to, you kind of adjust, and that's it. Nobody When you're doing it with a team, it's like, "Okay, like, you 2 go first. We're gonna go against, the biggest person and try to knock out all the rest of the teams before we send, the black belt in to basically finish everybody off." I don't know, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing the one in September.
Also makes it fun too for training because this is a lonely sport. It's only most of the time like when it's like a match, just yourself getting like game plan. But once you have like a team match, it feels more fun during practice. You would like to go over stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you kinda look at, like, the way that people are getting submitted because it was sub only, so, like, how are people getting subbed out, or what are people going for? And in those kinda situations, well, from what I saw, I was like, well, especially the tag team jujitsu, because some of the ladies were trying to, like, sit back into, like, leg locks and things like that, but it was it was helping the other person get out, because if they knew how to defend a little bit, that person was sitting back, and then they could kinda reach out to their team member to tag them in. So, like, partly through it, I was like, "Okay, let's work on, like, position and strangles or chokes, maybe arm bars or something like this, because at least you can hold on to the person better." And if you sit back on a leg, unless you really have it, it's like they're twirling to get out, you know what I'm saying? And so they could easily, like, turn and try to, like,
Psychomatic.
gator roll their way out to their team and then get tagged in, and just that person just slides right in, and then, you could be on the bottom, and
Was
I don't
that in
know.
a regular match? Or was that in a pit
It was in the
match?
pit.
Even more fun.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have a lot of space to
Yeah.
roll, but you have enough room to, like, reach up to your, team member if you can get to your corner. So, yeah, it was pretty cool and very exciting. The energy was like, because everybody's surrounding the pit, right? So, like,
Yeah.
everybody's, like, hitting on the walls and, like, yelling and cheering, and I think it's exciting. It was a lot of fun. It hypes you up. You get, like If it's, like, super quiet, it's, like for me, it's more nerve-wracking. I'm like, "Oh my god." It really feels like everybody's staring at you. But when everybody's yelling and screaming and they're cheering, it's like, I don't know, you get, like, excited and you're like, "Oh, shit, let's go."
Time to go to war.
Yeah.
In you said in the other one was a quintet, the
Yeah.
match?
Mhm.
A trio.
Yeah, this
Was that
last
like a
one
regular match
was
or was that was like pin as well?
it was also in a pit. This one was a little bit bigger than the one I did before, but still, it's also different, like, when you're I don't know if you've ever rolled in a pit or, like, where they have the walls.
No.
It's very
You have the cage.
different. It's Yeah, and, well, you've rolled in the cage where it's I can say it's sort of similar, but not exactly, because the cage is, like, boom, vertical, like, straight up and down, and when it's at an angle, you can still kind of pin the person and drag them back to the middle. It's different. It's super different. You have to, like, control the person a little bit differently because they can use it to, like, push off of and create angles, and you know what I mean? It's just a little different. I'm glad that I had a little bit of the cage experience that I did have, because I was like, "Okay, I know how to, like, put pressure on somebody and not, let them their hips get away or pin them, in the corner or something." But, yeah, it's just different. So it's kind of neat to have that element, and it also makes it kinda cool because you can't really back away. So, like, if you're putting pressure on somebody, they can only go so far until they hit the wall, and then they have to push back into you, or they have to engage, like, or else they'll get pushed out. So it's like it eliminates somebody scooting away from you, or or
Well, now you were saying about the or like how different experience you had like in the cage compared to the pit in grappling.
yeah, so not that it's, like, by any means the same, but it has, like, some benefits because like, if you know how to take someone down off of the cage, it's not exactly the same, but similar. If you have somebody pinned up against the pit wall, and then just keeping them pinned there, it reminded me, like, of, like, when you have somebody pressed up against the cage and you wanna keep them pinned there, like, how to position your body so they can't, like, push off the wall or, turn underneath you and stuff like that. So, it was interesting. It was a lot of fun. The last gal I went with was I don't remember where she said she trained. Had said she trained out of Atos for, like, 6 years, but, oh my god, she was probably the most flexible human I've ever rolled with, ever. Like, she I had her in the mount, and she had her leg, like, all the way across my body on the other side, and she was trying to pull her other leg and put it in front of me. It was insane. I was like, "How the hell is she doing this?" I look
You said
back
she's
at
got
because we were
like a
pressed up
10th
against
planet.
the wall. Huh?
She was
We were pressed up
like a 10th planet practitioner.
She said she trained at Athos for, like, 6 years, and I'm like, "Okay, so she clearly was and she competes a lot." And,
Mhm.
when I got on the top, like, I got a mount, and we were pressed up against the wall, and I was like, I don't know if you've ever rolled with somebody that's just so flexible that you could be in, like, a super dominant position, and then their legs come out of nowhere, and you're like, "What is happening right now?" They're, like, reverse guard. I don't even know what it's called, but I was like, "What the hell is happening?" This girl, like, she's literally folded in half underneath me, and I'm, like, pressuring in on the wall, like, I'm, like, smashing her face and her foot together. Like, her foot was where her face was, and I was on top of both of them. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I would have died. I would have, like, and I told her afterward, I was like, "You are probably the most flexible person I've ever rolled with." Like, that was insane. I don't It's like, part of it is, like, you get into position and you try to twist somebody's body or their limb, so you could get the submission, you know? And it's like, well, what if somebody's so flexible, like you start manipulating the way the arms and legs aren't supposed to go, and they're so flexible that it's just like you're like, "What the hell is happening?"
Like a waste
It
of
was a
time.
lot of fun though.
Because several times you had people that you try to do a like electric chair and they're fine because they can do a split no problem. And you're just wasting your time just trying to go for electric chair.
Yeah, like or people you try to smash pass where you're putting a lot of pressure inside of like their guard and you're kind of like folding them in half. There's pressure on the spine and they're totally okay. Like you could literally sprawl their legs into their head and compress on their spine, but they're just comfortable. You're like, "Oh my god."
What to
Not
what
me.
next?
I would have been like, yeah.
What can you do next? They're not tapping out.
What's that?
What can you do next if they're not tapping out? That's the thing because you like because every
Right.
move you try to do is usually something that you work up to go for the finish, and it doesn't work. Back to rule one, see what else.
You have to like yeah, you'd have to like go for like a strangle, some sort of choke because everything else they're gonna be getting out of because 'cause they're so limber and like their body parts are moving like they're just flexible and you can't like, twist and turn them to get the tap. So it's like you can't flex your way out of a choke. So
No,
like
next not that
you
flexible.
have to figure out a way to get to their yeah. Get a way to get to the neck. That was crazy. It was so much fun though.
And you said do you have another one in October? Another match coming up in October?
Yeah. The no well, so September is another tag team event, and that's I think it's only gonna be 4 teams, but they're only 2 people team, like 2 people on the team. So before it was like 4 girls to a team and there were 4 teams. This time I think there still is 4 teams, but there's only 2 girls per team. So
Okay.
it should go a little bit quicker, I'm assuming. But it should be a lot of fun. And that's a tag team event. So I'm excited about that. That's September. And then the one in October is just the super fights at Bull and Bear. And I don't have a match yet, but probably figure out something. It should be fun and interesting. That one. It's gonna be wild.
Well, I said
Just because it's gonna be, like, outdoor brawls, outside and bales of hay and dirt,
yeah,
like those backyard brawls, except for
yeah,
it's gonna
like,
be jujitsu.
street beefs, kinda like street beefs that have, like, a YouTube.
Yeah.
I've seen the video.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
You wanna get it real interesting,
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
just set up the hay on fire if you wanna make it more interesting for when the match is going
You
on.
know what I thought of doing? I don't know if you've ever seen so they have these, oh my god, I don't remember the company, but they make these rash guards. Have you ever seen the movie Borat?
Yes.
Okay, so when he wears the green
The singlet?
swimming suit.
Yeah.
So it's a rash guard of somebody wearing the singlet like that. It's a dude, but so that's like a hairy chest with the singlet on. And I thought that that would be absolutely ridiculous and funny as hell to wear to the backyard brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Just to wear something like so obnoxious because like we're already doing like a street fight or like a backyard brawl fight. I thought
Uh-huh.
that would be funny.
Do you see the guy that he wore one this weekend in Toro? He wore a singlet. It was a Hello Kitty
Oh,
singlet.
yeah, 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 his Hello Kitty singlet.
Yeah.
He, like, faked everyone out, like, with the singlet thinking, like, he's gonna wrestle, then he jumped guard and triangled the guy in, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That was that was wild. But then he did, like, a bunch of backflips and crazy shit after.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
mean, he had the
"Dang."
energy for it 'cause he just
Right?
felt
Because he
energy
finished
into
him
the
and,
match.
like yeah, that took him he literally, like, tied up with the guy and just pulled guard and triangled him, like, instantly.
That's
And he got his
embarrassing.
money. I mean
Like, what was the
right?
guy wearing that he beat you?
Right, he was wearing a Hello Kitty singlet. God, it's like, you gotta win. If you're gonna wear that, y it's a must. You gotta
Yes,
win.
it was lose-lose. I think a guy that he lost a one of those fantasy football league, and his buddies made him wear a loser of the fantasy football league singlet, and he signed up for a wrestling tournament, even though he had never wrestled before.
Oh my
Just
god.
compete.
Did he get
Um,
destroyed?
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that remind me of
That was
when we were in
probably
college.
hilarious.
When I was in college, we had a guy. He was a friend of ours. If we told our coach that he was like a really like a state champion, and he was like really good wrestler. It was a tournament that our school was hosting. So we usually do seeding in tournaments. So I seeded number one seed in a tournament. And he signed up for the tournament, but he had never wrestled before.
Oh my
The first
god.
guy he got you wrecked. It was hilarious because I think he played baseball. He never wrestled. He just played baseball, and we just bet see if he would like be able to sign up for the tournament and win one match.
That he got
And he just went,
smoked.
oh yeah, destroyed by some college wrestler
Oh,
from
that's
like a on a
hilarious.
cash guy from NC State or something like that.
They probably just totally destroyed him.
Oh
That's
yeah.
funny. He should put that on YouTube.
I wish we had recorded. But man, it was hilarious. Not many people will do that nowadays. I signed up for like a tournament, like a Naga or something like that for competing just for the hell of it because of losing a bet. That would be fun though.
Right? I don't know. That would be funny though.
Like somebody and
I
work.
mean, I'm
Like
sure there's people like that. Yeah. Oh my god, you should probably, like, make a bet, somebody will lose, like, someone else, and then that should be the you're like, "And we'll pay for your entry fee and everything, but you have to compete."
that would be
Just to see 'em get
funny.
fucked.
Oh yeah.
I'll watch them win. You're like, "Oh my god, what the hell?"
No, that would be a nightmare if they win. No, and
Right?
no,
They'd probably talk shit forever.
actually sign them up for a what you call a absolute bracket. Make sure he loses. Definitely not winning that one.
My god, can you imagine them
Oh,
ending up going against, like, some super heavyweight?
yeah, or going against somebody that's a white belt college wrestler first round.
Yeah. Or somebody that, like, if it was, just some athletic guy that just, like, crushed them, run circles on them, and just, like, totally destroyed them.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta do it now.
Yeah. But speaking of competition, how will you describe because you have competed in different areas. You competed back at home, Maine, and now here in North Carolina. How do you feel like transition? Now you're a coach. How do you feel like how does the shift focus like for self improvement in performance that when you are a competitor to now like helping others succeed?
Uh, like, the different well, it's so I've been teaching for so long, like, alongside competing, but when competing was my main focus, it's kind of like you hone in on just that. Not that I never wanted I've always wanted my students to do well, but it's like you're super hyper focused on your own tournament or your own fight camp preparation, and now, um, I I want that for them, so I feel like, now that I'll be honest, like, now that I'm a little bit older, for myself, when I prepare for, tournament, it's totally different because I know what I need to do, the work I need to do, and to do it efficiently. Before, like, I used to be like, I need to train all the time, 2 times a day, and just be grinding nonstop, like, or else I won't be prepared. And I would just grind myself into an oblivion. And I mean, not all my performance suffered, but a lot of them did because I was just not focusing on the right things. So through trial and error, now that I'm older, I focus more on the things I need to focus and make sure I'm prepared to fight long and hard matches, right? Or like quick matches. But that's not through me training 3 times a day and being completely beat up. So I take those lessons, and it's like talking to my younger self when I talk to my students that are just beginning. I'm like, hey, these are the things you should start to focus on if you're wanting to compete. and take my advice because I did it the wrong way for a long time, and now, like, you know, you're doing it I mean, and everybody's different, but I only have my own experience, so I tell them that, and I try to share with them, like, especially because 'cause they're that that confidence is not there when initially, when a lot of people first start to compete. They're super nervous, they're, like, terrified, and I'm like I have at least that advice. I can be like, "Hey, like, everybody is gonna step on there feeling the same way." Everybody deals with their nerves differently, but it's like a personal conquer. Like, you get on if you're especially if you're scared to death or you just make it into this, like, huge thing in your head, but in reality, it's not. It's exactly like going to the gym and having a new training partner that you're training hard with. It's like you have to change the way that you're looking at it because you're making it into this big monster, and it's making you so nervous, and it's making you so emotional. Your anxiety is all crazy and you can't breathe. You're going to the bathroom to take a pee every 5 seconds because you're so nervous. It's like, dude, I remember that. And it's because you play it in your mind to be this like duel to the death or something crazy, and it's like, is it important? Yes, but you have to, like, view it, like, in your mind a little bit differently so it doesn't, like, cripple you. It's just like another day on the mat except for
Yeah.
this person's going like, to me, it's like rolling hard with somebody I've never like, at an open mat. When you go to an open mat and you're training with somebody new and you guys are having a hard round, you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know what their game is or whatever, but you just you know what I mean? It's kinda like that, and, like, my
Yeah, like the
students, I
sound
try
mouth that
to
you feel when you're competing.
yeah, and I try to, like, share my experiences with them to help them along their way because I don't know I mean, everybody's different, everybody's gonna feel differently, whatever, and all I have to share is my own experiences, and you can take whatever you need from that and run with it, use it. If it helps, awesome. And I always tell people if there's any way I can help, let me know because I'm sure I've been through whatever you're about to, go through or say, like, because I've competed since I was a white belt. So just about everything awful has happened or great. So it's like, just let me know. And, so that's kind of like what I try to pass down to them is just that experience of, like especially, like, feeling completely, like, nervous and, like, sometimes people, like, their nerves cripple them. It's like they get so nervous they can't, like, function or think straight. So, I try to, because I remember that feeling too. And you allow it to, like, get and I don't know if you've ever experienced that, like, when you first started competing, when you're just, like, so overwhelmed and nervous that
Yeah,
or,
it's tense.
whatever, like and you don't know how to yeah, and you don't like, you've never been put in that situation before, so you don't really know how to you don't really know how you're gonna deal with it until you actually have to go through it. So I think it's a
Some
major growth experience too, because it's like being uncomfortable makes you grow. And this is something you can't experience it unless you experience it. Like we can put you through rounds, competition rounds. We can make it feel like the competition sort of at the gym, but it's not going to be the same until you go and actually experience it. So it's like that right there in itself is like
some
such a huge step in like personal growth.
there's only so much you can simulate in a practice that you in a match. Like if you
Right.
different tempos like you
You
before
can
like
have
in
every
brackets, like if for tournament is different pace than like you for matches or practice. In because I usually like with guys at the gym, if it's like a super match, you wanna like your competition class, you building up the tempo to the last match. So whenever you are competing in a super match, you're warming up the same way. But if in a when it's like a tournament or bracket, you practice it will be like kinda like Shark Tanks going rounds after round. and try to keep the tempo high.
Right. And still, even doing those kind of preparations, which definitely helps, like everything that people can do to kind of simulate actual competition or fight helps, but it's never gonna feel exactly the same as when you step on the mat and you're at the competition. It's gonna feel you're still gonna feel, like, a little bit off. You'll definitely feel better if you were put through, like, the correct training to prepare for it, but, and then you never know, like, everybody's different. It's like, some people are pretty cool, they're under control, like, of their emotions, and when they go on to the competition, they're just, like, they're good. They don't freak out or anything, and then there's some people that are, like, pure chaos, like, they're so nervous, they're losing their mind, and they have a hard time controlling, like, bringing it back down, and I think it's such a valuable thing to go through because you learn a lot about yourself, and then you're like, for me, I used to get, like, so nervous, like, cripplingly nervous, and I hated it, and I was like, "I'm gonna keep doing this until I can get this shit under control." It was horrible. I was like I'm like, "Why am I so why do I what in my head is making me feel so out of control of, like, my own emotions?" So, I would keep doing it and doing it and doing it until, like, you still get nervous, but you understand it better. And so for my
Um,
students, the ones that are interested in competing or ask me about competing, I just try to give that advice and hopefully they can resonate with it.
yeah, like how much like is pressure wise, like whenever you're like you said, your competitor at the beginning it was like nerve wracking. How's the pressure like? Do you feel like when you're coaching, like you want like better for your students, you want like to do well? How's that differentiate that pressure
For me or for them?
for you as a coach?
Like for them Oh, for me? Well, for like when I'm coaching, I get more nervous coaching than I do actually competing because you want to say the right things. To you want not even say the right things because like, you're seeing the match from the outside. So you can tell them what they should be doing. But I want to say the things that they understand. Like, right? Because in the moment, I could be like saying something and it's too complicated for them to understand because of the heat of the moment and they're, in this chaotic moment where it's like, I don't want to like over explain it, something that should be simple. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I'm like, I just want to be able to like
Yeah,
make sure I'm saying the right things, they understand it, and they know they're supposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
try to
You gotta like
move
keep the tempo.
to execute whatever. Yeah. Or like, you don't want to like, you're over there like stressed out and yelling and telling them to do all these things and then they end up like losing or whatever and you're like you take that on because I'm like, dang, like I wish I could have said something different to have made it easier for them to win or whatever. But it's like you can only do so much from the outside. When they're in it, they're the ones that have to do it. But definitely coaching, I
Yeah, it's
feel
not
like
like you're
is
playing a
more
video game.
stressful
It's
and
different.
harder.
Yeah, because when you're in there, you can feel different things as a competitor. Like you feel where their body is shifting, things like that.
I lost you again.
And we're back. Last time we were recording, we having some technical issues, so we had to. We didn't just change clothes in the middle of the episode. Just want to let you know we're doing two takes for this recording, and we had some technical difficulties, so we're trying to finish the episode. What we were discussing was different scenarios of competition in which are competing as a team in different mats as well. So what how do you feel like about like those like different scenario rather than just stereotypical just mats altogether just one on one in the pet in teams competition?
Oh, I really like the wall idea. Like, I mean, maybe not necessarily like a small pit, like, but even the like, how CGI has, like, the walls, so you can't, like, run out of bounds, I guess. You can't walk out of bounds. So it, like, forces you to stay in the game. So, one thing that was kind of, it's frustrating to watch, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the athletes, like, when we're, was watching Toro is when one person is really pressuring and trying to get the takedown or, they're going forward or whatever, and the other person keeps backing up out of bounds. Like, they keep going out of bounds because it stops it, and then they get recentered. So, it's like if I'm trying to, you know, take you down and I get close to it, or maybe I get, like, a body lock, or I'm capitalizing on your movement, and then I just kind of, you know, I walk out of bounds, they have to reset in the middle. So that was happening quite a bit. That happened quite a bit at the last one, the last Toro Cup too, at the very last match. Uh,
Was it the
so
heavyweights?
yeah, and at
Yeah, I
this
remember
one,
that one.
yeah, it was, Diego and Gabriel, and then this one, the 2 guys that were going, I mean, I don't know if they were heavyweight, but they were definitely bigger, but same thing, and it was like you could see that it was, like, definitely frustrating because the one guy kept just going out, and if there's a wall there, there's really nowhere for you to go. You have to walk up or come, you know what I mean? Like, come back around or else you'll fall out of
Yeah.
the
Actually, it's hard
thing.
to I have to sprawl that way too, right? At the
Yeah.
angle, there's no way you'll be able to sprawl on an incline.
No, you have to, like, circle or, but I think that that's actually pretty smart because you can go out of bounds. There's nowhere you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, even in, like, the higher level grappling matches, but I mean, like, when there's a ton of people competing at the same time, obviously, like, unless you had a huge space with, like, the wall and you had that, you had that many mats, you could make it work. So, where you could have, like, individual spaces on the inside, but I don't know.
Doing a skating ring.
Yeah,
They have many of they have many of those in
that's
skating ring.
actually yeah, you just have the wall there
Just put mats on.
because that's yeah, it's, like, super annoying, and it's kind of it's like I can only imagine, like I said, it's probably super frustrating to be in the situation when you're competing, against someone that keeps doing that, but it's also, like, when you're the spectator on the outside, you're like, "Man, this sucks." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just
Because in grappling they don't have stalling. In wrestling
yeah,
they do, but in grappling they don't.
yeah, it's like that way they don't have to you can't really run away from the match. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah. And then sometimes you can actually kind of cheat in the like that way when they go out of bounds. I've seen well back in Russia when he went against Kid Dale last who's number one,
Mhm.
he had a single leg and they went out of bounds, but when they went out of bounds, he let go of the leg and reached for the bag. So it made him restart from back in Russia's on Kid Dale's bag because that's what their stop. But Kid Dale stopped like grappling because don't stop, but Russia went to the bag. So we started on the
Right.
bag, which is like more advantage for Wagner.
Yep.
But in the pit, you just continues the timer doesn't stop in the pit or the bone, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Oh, it
There's no
doesn't?
resetting. Because no resetting.
Yeah,
The
there's no
timer just keep
resetting.
on.
They don't have to keep stopping and putting him in the center, stop and put it in the center, and when it should have been a 10-minute match, it's now, like, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and, yeah, that's super frustrating, and I can't imagine, like, you're the one in there, can you imagine, and then you stop because you go out of bounds or whatever, and then they reset you like that in the middle with the person on your back.
It's hard to keep up momentum. Every time
Yeah,
resetting, the momentum is gone. What do you think other competitions that have I don't know if you heard TFA, they have a like a donut competition.
they have a what?
Donut competition. So you eat a donut I think every time you get submitted, you have to eat a donut and you have to eat it within a certain time period, like time limit to get back in. But then they changed because it was going too long. So I put every 3 rounds or every 4 rounds, everybody has to eat a donut. And those donuts are huge. So like how many rounds can you go? I think it's like I can't remember $2,500 was the prize for the winner.
Damn, I mean, like, I would probably get sick to my stomach and puke,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if you're having to, like, grapple really hard in between that. Ugh.
That's a lot of carbs.
Yeah, and then, like, typically well, I don't really eat that much before like, I can't eat a
No.
within 2 hours of training or else I'll be sick. Like,
Yeah.
I'll that food will be coming up, but, like, I can't imagine having to stop and eat something like a donut that's
Yeah.
so, like, heavy and sugary on your belly, like, no
Yeah.
way.
I think the last one went, I think 4 hours, the last time that he did that. That's a lot of donuts.
That's that's awful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's like if ooh. Did anyone get sick?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people at one time, not this one, last one, but the one before that one, Avery, he's talking about somebody was like eating his donut so he can give it again. So he put his mouth before the time finished. He jumped in, he got caught in a darts with a donut in his mouth. Oh no, he's gonna die for sure. They're gonna lose their insurance in the gym because of that, because of the
Right?
donut getting
Just
choked
gonna
up.
choke to death on the donut.
Yeah.
My god.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure, I mean, your stomach just getting stuffed.
Yeah, you'd be, like, bloated and, like, sugary, like, you know, when you eat donuts too, like, for me, like, if I eat shit, if I even eat like if I was to eat, like, 2 back to back, like, it's, like, hard to breathe after, and it's, like, just from the sugar itself, like, I can't imagine having to eat and then go balls to the wall training, like,
Yeah.
trying to pull somebody.
Okay, man.
That'd be
I'm pretty
awful,
sure cops would be good at it. They're perfect, like, this is a regular day for them. They eat donuts and chase people.
right? Or do they? I mean, like,
Just let them go. We'll give them a citation later.
just taste
Now, what do you think about other competitions, John Wick matches? Have you seen those
mm-mm.
when they wear a suit?
Oh, yes, 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 okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen those.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess what is the purpose of it? Like, to see what it would be like to fight someone in real life, like, enough like,
In the gi?
in physicals?
I think TFA they did one as well. They had 3 rounds. First round, uh, jiu-jitsu, straight jiu-jitsu. Second round was a simulation with a knife.
Mm.
And the third one was like overtime. So they will be grappling and it will be a random. They'll throw a gun in there with a blank. And whoever gets the gun and shoots the other one wins.
See, I think that would be kind of interesting and fun because it's sort of like real life-ish, you
Yeah.
know?
Practical.
Practical, and,
Mhm.
you know, you're not gonna be in your, like, jujitsu gear when you're just walking around in the streets if something was to happen like that. So, I mean, that's kinda cool in that aspect.
Mhm.
But you've seen, like, like, phone booth jujitsu
Yeah.
or,
The
like
ones in the car.
yeah, in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I
My
guess
manager
somebody tried to, like,
mug
jack
you.
your car or something while you were in it.
Yeah. My manager, my work, she said she goes to a different gym. And she said one of the guys at her gym, he was practicing for a competition for that, like a car jiu-jitsu. So he was in the parking lot, go with somebody else like that. And they got the cops calling them because they were fighting for it. They like, oh, somebody's getting mugged over there. They're fighting and they're trying to like pull each other, like tying their seatbelt under each other's neck and
Oh
stuff.
my god, that's hilarious. The cops show up and they're like, "No, we're just preparing for, like, a jujitsu match."
What are you guys doing? Pick a better hobby.
Hilarious. Oh my god, what a story that would be.
Yeah. Maybe you have to go show up to a judge for that.
I can't imagine if they ticketed you, like, you're not really,
But
like, doing anything illegal.
yeah. And
Somebody
then,
somebody
nobody's
thought
pressing charges.
huh?
And nobody's pressing charges either.
Right.
But yeah,
A concerned citizen.
yeah, they send a security guard over there. Check
I
out
mean,
over there.
I guess if I saw that too, like, initially, you'd be like, "Oh, those 2 dudes are scrapping in that car."
Yeah, I mean, you see that in this Full Line parking lot.
Yeah, like, in a parking lot, I probably would be like, "Maybe we should call the police," or, like, go over there and look to see, like, what was kinda happening,
Yeah,
making sure there wasn't, like, children or women in the car.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be like the scene from Deadpool and Wolverine when they're fighting in the Honda Odyssey.
Yeah,
It's busting all the windows.
that's funny as hell.
As far as like transition from, maybe we cover about the pressure of between being a competitor and as a coach. What do you think is more difficult, being a competitor or being a coach?
Well, yes, I think being a coach because, like, well, I don't know how most coaches feel, but for me, I carry a lot of, like, that on my shoulders, like, because 'cause you're the person that helps with the preparation. You're the person that, like, helps, them push past their, physical limits in training, and you're giving them pointers, you're trying to help them through the tough spots that they're getting caught in, all these different things that you do to help that person prepare. And then when you're at the competition, you're the one on the side giving the instruction. Because, when you're competing, sometimes you're stuck, well, especially if you're first starting, to compete. And if, your coach is like, hey, do this. And you start to do that, and then it it doesn't go the way that it was supposed to go. You're like, "Oof." But so I feel like that's tougher in that aspect because for me, I just want the best for them, and I want of course, you want your student to win, and I just want them to have a great experience, if anything, like, and take something really amazing home from that experience. Like, I tell them all the time, like, either you're gonna do it once and love it, or you're gonna do it and absolutely hate it. Like, it's either gonna be something that you wanna do again, or it's gonna be something that you're just like, "This is definitely not for me." But every person that, I've ever, like, encountered that did a competition, they didn't just do one and done. They did several. Whether they did it consistently, I mean, some of them did, some of them didn't, but they did more than one, and it brought something of value into their jujitsu life and in regular life. Because I mean, that kind of thing brings out things in people that you don't experience or you didn't even know was there, like, "Oh my god, you didn't realize that you were like, you could be such a nervous wreck," or, like, your head plays tricks on you, or you did something really well under extreme pressure. There's just there's a million things that could happen that can help you grow from that experience. So, I
And you
think
surprise yourself at times too, like how good you can get
yeah. I
in
mean,
a
you
period of time.
you go back to the drawing board and you're like, "Okay, I need to work on." You can watch your match and see what you need to work on, or, like, I tell people, like, it physically you're there, like, you have the physical capability. It's maybe, like, the mental part that you shit the bed every time. You know what I mean? Like, your anxiety or your nervousness or whatever it is that you're experiencing is, like, crippling your performance, so you need to work on that. And that's, like, people don't understand too, like, that part is just as important as the physical part, like, you train your mind the way you train your body, you know? Every time you go
Yeah.
into, like, training jujitsu, you're getting better, so you kinda have to do the same thing with, like, your mentality. You have to train it so that way every day it gets better and you can deal
Yeah,
with your emotions
because you
better.
only train the body so long, and then the physiological response of pressure, how you respond, and also transfer to life as well, the everyday life. That's how you learn in jujitsu, because you have
Mhm,
to be calm under pressure while rolling, and you learn about yourself, not just in the grappling aspect, but how you respond to different stimulus and
mm,
challenges that you get.
uh-huh. Yeah, it's like figuring out, like, what happened there and how can I fix it? Because sometimes it's like like I said, you're physically capable. You perform really well every day on the mats, and you can totally do this, but you get so much in your head that when you go out there, you flop. So it's like, well, your jujitsu's fine, you just need to fix that part, and fixing that part, like, will help in a tremendous way because it fixes like, it helps you grow not just in that moment in jujitsu because you apply it, like, to so many different other things. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just you have to understand why you're getting so nervous and why you view it as this huge, like, monster. Like, what about this situation is making you feel like it's, you're fighting to the death and you're
Yeah,
freaking out about it. Like, that's
and
not what
that's the
this
difficult
is.
part for the coaching part. Like, how do you talk someone into competition? Some people are like, you have some people that are terrible in practice, but when the lights come on, they just show out. Like TC,
Mhm.
he's one of those people. And they have other people that are like all American practice. They're like perfect practice, every practice. But when the lights come on, they just like tears on the headline. They block themselves. They're like their own worst enemy when it comes to competing. And it's difficult. How do you handle those students like that? They have like mental blocks.
Well, like, I tell them, like, what it is it like, what you have to do some, like, self-work there. You gotta figure out what about this situation is making you totally, like, freak out and deer in the headlights, like you say. Like, what about it is making you feel this like, let's think about it. Let's sit down and actually is it the people? Is it the fact that, like, you feel like a tremendous amount of pressure all of a sudden? And that's whatever that person is feeling. It's different for probably everyone. I mean, it can be similar for a lot of people, like some feelings, but it's also very different. And then we work on that, okay? And then one thing, like, I just share my experiences, is I'm like, hey, like, I used to feel this particular way, and every first match, usually I would lose. And after that, then I would win all the rest of the matches. So it was usually my first match. So I had to, like, go back to the drawing board and figure out like, why wasn't I doing well when my first match? Well, I wasn't warming up the right way. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? And okay, so then I started literally doing, like, the warm-ups that I did to when I was at practice. I would just start doing those stretches and warm-ups I did at practice, and then I was like, "Duh, it's the same." So I got a light sweat, my body was nice and warm, and I was good to go. Like, it was a little bit of an adrenaline flush, and then I felt better. And then in practice, I would think to myself of the competition, like, I would think, "This is the competition." And we'd have, like, your hard rolling sessions, and I would never really put myself in that mentality in practice until I started, like, when I would lose the first match, and I was like, "Okay, this is the first roll, and you know, I need to think of it differently when I'm in practice, and then it'll feel different when I'm on the mat competing." And then I mean, I just kept doing it over and over and over, and then I
Our
finally would
college
be like,
coach
"Okay." I mean, you still feel
our college coach
what's that?
used to tell us about that first match. That's the worst match
Mhm,
that you're gonna have all day. You have to get that one out of the way. So like you were saying about the
mhm,
warm up, try and make warm up like it's your first match so you can get out of the way. So whenever you go out there, you're in the second match. Because
yep,
whenever you go, that's always that worst match. Like, dude, like what the hell is going on? Like, and then it goes by so fast too. By the time you try and get a hold of
yep.
it, it's out of your hands. That's what it feels like at times.
Yeah, it's like well, you've done competition classes, right? When you do your warm-ups for competition class, before you go to do whatever kind of rounds you're gonna do, and it's like brutal, right? But it's like every competition class that I've done or pro training that I've done, our warm-ups were intense. Like, they were the stretching and the normal warm-ups just to get your body loose or whatever, and a little bit warm, but then you go into, like, the drilling warm-ups where you're, like, breaking a sweat, like, drilling back and forth, and you're doing your takedown drills, you're doing, whatever, and like you said, it's already, like, when we start the live rolling or the situational training, we're already drenched in sweat because we've been basically training for, like, 30 to 45 minutes already. You know what I mean? So I think that for most people, I don't know, for everybody, it's different, obviously. Like, get don't treat it any different than when you go in to train at the gym and you're having your best rolls. Like, you should prep the same way. It shouldn't be any
Yeah.
different.
I learned that lesson competing jiu-jitsu. Did you say approach it like the competition class? So usually 45 minutes before like my match, I just go and like get my calisthenics, try and get some drills and going on. And then eventually when it's like really close to it, use some stretch. But I usually have a watch that have my heart rate. I want to keep a heart rate above 100. So whenever I go on the mat, I know I don't feel like that
Mhm.
jump. Whenever you feel like you jump on the mat, start going. And so if I do feel that jump, I know it's adrenaline. It's not because I'm getting tired. Because I've already been doing this for 45 minutes. Or like in my heart rate has to be staying in that zone. I'm not wearing myself out. I've done this 4 hour practice before, and this match is just the match that I had to get through. And you just know you get to know your body as well.
Yes, like, the way now that I do like, if I'm competing now because I'm older, is, like, my preparation is slightly different, but, like, it's not as, super intense as it used to be when I was, like, in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like, still you're getting a sweat, you just have to, like, know what it is that you need to get to how you when you step on the mat, like, where you feel your best. Like you said, it's already the 2nd match.
Yeah. And how much efficient do you feel that way when you approach practice that way? You're just like surgical practice instead of just going balls to the walls and hitting every single corner. How do you feel now?
I feel great, right?
Especially the next day.
Yeah, like, well, now, I don't like, things have changed over the years, right? So, like, I don't really care to listen to music. I like to be very present and in the moment right there, and I don't like to kinda, like, be distracted by music, because then my adrenaline goes up, or, your heart rate goes up and down. I just chill, like, I like to be relaxed. I don't care to listen to music anymore, which I used to, long time ago, and I focus a lot on, like, getting really, like, stretched out, making sure that my hips feel good, my knees, like, my shoulders, and then I'll get a really good warm up in, and then I stay warm, and I stay stretching. Like, when before it was like, I need to do, like, this set of I was like I had a certain amount of drills I like to do, boop, 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 like, every single time, and I'd be super sweaty, and I'm like, "I don't need all of that now." I needed it then, but now things different, it's just different,
Yeah.
but I still feel really
There's a
good,
guy,
right? Either way.
Kyle Day, he's now you said bring that like do you have like a certain specific time of warm up? He he like one of the important things that I learned from him was the pressure thing, like we talked about earlier. He talked about pressure is a privilege. Like, because the pressure that we get for competing is different than the pressure in real life other people face. And the basketball player talk
Mhm.
about pressure in the playoff. Like pressure in the playoff is not pressure, real pressure. It's only your head. That pressure is a mother with 3 jobs, single mother, try to make money for the rent. That's a real pressure because if she messes up, the kids are on the road, on the street. They don't have nowhere to live. That's real pressure. Competing, he just playing with the
Yeah,
ball and trying just to keep a score. That's all it is. But pressure that you get from competing is just uh mental, and if it's not factor
yeah,
unless you let it make it a factor. Um, about the competing part of having a specific warm up, he was one of those guys that was like really, really like OCD with his training. And when he went into the
mhm,
Olympics in Tokyo, he lost in the semis and he took third place. And he was said, if in order for me to get gold, everything has to go according to plan. Doesn't mean I practice correctly. I have to practice. Everything should go out the window and still be able to win. That's what you should practice. Not everything has to go correctly according to plan.
right, and when will it? Like,
Yeah,
that's one thing too you learn over time, it's like, you could have, like, all your ducks in a row, and then shit just does not go the way you wanted it to, and sometimes it goes
yeah,
worse,
yeah.
or
You go
I'll
like get food poisoning on the way to the tournament. You have to
or,
compete.
like, you maybe one time you don't sleep well, you're just like, the warm-up went like crap, you didn't like a bazillion things went wrong and then you just performed really, really good.
Yeah,
I feel like
another
that's
thing that
like
you brought up was the music that was also important. Like about like a lot of people get their head in the music before their matches and they just like get so wrought up. But I can remember there was a scientist talk about you want to be present within like I want to say 10 minutes before your match. You want to be able to take in a space because you want to separate yourself from the place that you're going to be competing in. Otherwise, you like feel like out of place whenever you start competing. It's like something I learned
okay.
recently. Like you want to be able to breathe in where you are. You know where you're present. You know, like you competing is not a virtual reality. It's real life. You don't compete, so therefore you shouldn't like try to separate
Yeah.
yourself from where you're competing.
Right, stay in the moment. It's I think, like, also like an escape. Sometimes people wanna, like, escape that moment because it feels super uncomfortable, and you're nervous, and it kinda,
Yeah,
like, helps you kind of get away from the present moment of all this nerves and the fact that you're about to go on to the mat and grapple against somebody, or if you're going into the cage, you're about to fight somebody, you know what I mean? It helps you kinda, like, disconnect, but, like, I agree with that. That's it's like for me, it's more nerve-wracking to listen to the music than just to be there. Like, I'd rather, be talking to my coaches or my teammates or maybe just, like, thinking my own thoughts and not, like, trying to escape my thoughts and how I'm feeling to be somewhere else.
yeah. And do you think that's the reason why they have walkouts in some matches with the music?
I wanna get you all hyped up.
Yeah, that's all. I was thought about that because like there's a lot of matches that have like walkout songs. I wonder if that's a reason why they have walkout songs.
Probably, you know,
Yeah,
so you
because
feel, like, super you're walking
yeah,
out and you're getting all hyped up. That's your jam,
yeah.
you're
Do you
feeling
remember?
it.
Have you heard the story about like people that have dementia? Whenever they listen to a song when they were younger, they have memory. They remember like the lyrics of the song when they're despite they have dementia, they only have short term memory, but they remember. I wonder if that's the same. That's part of the reason also that helps during a workout song because you play that song during your practice. Whenever you go out there and compete,
Right.
it kind of put you in the same mental state where you're competing. Unless you only listen to that song whenever you're going to compete.
Yeah. Well, I used to like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. And then or like your gym jams when you're like at the gym and you're working out really hard or doing your conditioning and you have your one song that like kind of you hear it and it kind of motivates you a little bit more and you're pushing a little bit harder in that during that song. So that's probably why I've never really
Just
asked,
lifting heavy to Dancing Queen. Dancing Queen.
right?
Hey, to each their own. Yeah, their mental state, getting zoned in.
Right? Like, everybody's face is different.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was always wondering like how like do you talk people because that's also difficult as a coach to walk them into competition because it's difficult. And another thing is building them up after a
Mhm.
loss. That's difficult as well.
Well, I had, this really, really resonated with me when a old coach of mine and training partner was helping me prep for one of my MMA fights, and he'd be holding mitts for me and, we're, like, working the pads and brutal training session, and you're calling out combinations, and I'm trying to, work and move my head and do all these things, and, like, whenever you mess it up, I would just be like, "Fuck, man," like, and I'd just get real irritated,
Yeah.
you mess up the combination or you're, whatever, you're skipping a beat and like, for me, it's, like, super frustrating because it's, like, I'm like, "I should know this," like, and he'd be like, "Why are you celebrating the negatives? Like, just fucking let it go and let's keep going. Let's keep working. Quit celebrating the negatives." And I was like, "What?" Like, nobody had ever put it to me like that, and he's like, "You're over here, you're basically having, like, a celebration for the negatives, like, this thing that doesn't like, why are you giving that energy? Stop fucking giving it energy, and let's keep working." And so he would tell me that when he'd see me, like, getting frustrated or, like, you're getting frustrated with yourself, right? And he'd be like, "Quit celebrating the negatives. You're having a
Yeah.
little celebration there." And I'd be like, "You're right. You are. You're like you're basically having, like, a pity party because you're messing up or practice didn't go the way I wanted it." Like, who cares? Move on. Let's go to the next thing. So I take that, and that helped me because I was like, I'm focusing on the wrong things here. Like, I should be focusing on the things that, like, are I'm accomplishing that are bringing me closer to the goal, not, like, these little hiccups here and there. Because if I keep focusing on the goal and the hiccups will work themselves out, right? We'll you know what I mean? Because we keep showing up, we keep working this, particular thing, and it doesn't matter if I mess it up the first 10 times. I keep that, showing up, working at it, and I don't celebrate the times that I fucked it up. I go to the times that I did it well, and I focus on that. So to me, that really resonated with me because I think too a lot of the time, and I'm sure you have been there too, when you're like training for something, or maybe you just feel like you're not, you're like plateauing or you feel stuck. This thing, whatever, maybe you're always getting stuck in the bottom of side control or something, and you're like, man, why do I keep getting stuck here? Like I shouldn't. And you get frustrated and then you start like being negative to yourself and being negative to like negative self-talk about your game and basically telling yourself that you suck, right? And that
Yeah.
does not do anything good for you and it doesn't help you like get better. Like recognize that you're having, whatever the problem is that maybe you keep getting, caught there and then just keep working to fix it. Keep working to fix it. Don't keep celebrating the fact that you keep messing it up. So that's what I try to
Because it's a
tell
wasted
my
motion.
student. Right,
It's like wasted motion for like all the
and
energy they're
just try to
using.
keep it like yeah, and your emotional it's energy. It's like you're just wasting it on, throwing a pity party for yourself. It's like you could be focusing on something else and making the game or whatever making it better for yourself instead of you're basically having a pity party, and what for?
Do
It's not doing
do
you
you think that
anything.
applies to life as well? The same
Absolutely.
concept?
Yep,
How many times
for
you been
sure.
driving, like, you have
Because
to go to a good job, and on the way there, somebody just cut you off. You're like, "Motherfucker." Just like like, just
right,
lose your shit because somebody do something silly and probably don't even paying attention to you, what happened. And, you're just throwing a fit in your car, but you're, like, on the way to something nice, but you just lost your shit. Like, don't worry about it.
right.
Keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And really, like, if you sit and think about it in real life situation, or it's all real life, but in like day-to-day life situations, it's like if you're putting so much into like some shit like that, it's like for what? You just like elevated your heart rate and you just like got a few more white hairs and a few more wrinkles. Just for what? Like you couldn't do anything about it. It's like,
For something that took half a
oh
second of
well.
your day.
Yeah. And you made it into like 20 minutes because you were like,
Oh, yeah. I'm Imma
like
write
getting
down
all
this
like
license plate, and next time I see him.
yeah. It's like if anything bad has happened to you in your life and you keep revisiting those moments, oh, I should have done this, or man, I wish this, I was so stupid. You know, even in relationships, "Oh, I stayed too long," or "I didn't do," and it's like, dude, that that event is over, like, the event
Yeah.
has passed,
I think
so
same thing in
quit
competition. Like in competition, how many times have you seen somebody that have like really a lot of bad energy after they're done with the match? Like, oh, I should like really pissed off and piss off the other person. Like, dude, you should have used the energy during the competition. You cannot control
yeah,
anything. Whatever you do right now is not going to affect the outcome of that match. It's gone. Move
mhm,
on.
it's
Move to
over,
something better.
yep, or, like, people that, like, they're so upset, they get so mad and pissed off if they even sometimes I've seen it when students have won, but they didn't win, like, the way that they wanted to. They felt they did, like, shitty, and they're so upset at themselves, you can't even, like, speak to them after. It's like they need the and I get it, okay, you go through whatever shit you're gonna go through, feel it, let it fucking ride, and then let it go. Don't let it ruin the rest of your day. It's not worth it. It's not. Even
Mhm.
at I would like, at a very extremely high level of competition, what are you gonna do when that moment's over? Win or lose, you know what I mean? You can
It's all
keep
part of
reliving it
experience.
that moment and feel like sh
And you cannot
you
lash
know?
out others either, like, it affect your outcome of your whether you win or lose, because, like, it's not really enjoyable being around somebody like that either. And trying to
No,
talk about the topic
no
how,
way.
like, coaching and parenting, how they kinda, like, go together, and, like, when we raise our kids, we want it to be, like, coachable, they want it to be a good attitude and maximum effort on whatever they do, and same thing applies with competing. If you would like to have those things on their wrap, you'll be able to have better partners, better coaches because you're approachable, you're able to have an open mind for things. But if you're that way and you like make everybody mess around you, like nobody wants who wants to be around that?
Yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to be around, that kind of energy because it's like, it it's contagious, and it's not a very good vibe, and people probably don't feel good around you. You know, they want they wanna be in, like, a positive environment, not somewhere where, like, somebody's sucking the like, energy out of them, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
but
It's an
I
important
like
lesson to
that
learn.
yeah, big time, but it is similar, I like said, like, when you're coaching and parenting, it's I mean, it's not the same, obviously, but
Yeah.
similar in a lot of ways where you want those things for your children as well, and I think of it as, like I do this with my daughter a lot, I try to think of, like, when I'm having, like, a frustrating moment, and I'm like, "Well, what was it like for me when I was, like, her age?" And I try to think, like, let me try to reverse the roles so I can try to understand what she's feeling because I don't. You know what I mean? Because I don't wanna get frustrated because I don't get it. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I try to do that with my students because it's like sometimes you'll show the same thing over and over, and I'm like, "Why don't you get it yet? Like, you've done it like 1,000 times." Like, w and then I'm like, I think back to when I first started training, and I remember trying to do the triangle so many times and just trying like, I would get it on, like, somebody's head, not have their arm, or, like, it just I can't remember. I just failed so many times on understanding how it worked, and I'm like, "Okay, I can't be too hard on them," because I remember what it was like to to be in that situation and struggle in the beginning. So, you gotta remember, like, kids barely understand their emotions in general, like, most adults don't understand their emotions. So it's like, how can I be upset with somebody who's can barely figure out why they're upset themselves? And here I am getting mad
Mhm.
because she doesn't get it. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, like, a perspective is a
I try
big
to,
thing, like, for
you know,
coaching and parenting.
put it yeah, big time.
Um, because as a coach, like, usually trying to, like, be part, like, as a bigger picture. But as a parent, you, like, learn to zoom out, like, just focus on long-term growth and not just, like, a daily setbacks as a parent.
Mhm.
Because,
Yeah.
like you were saying, like, how you trying to remember,
And
like,
the
how
same
you
thing
were
you
when
could
you
say
were that
about
age.
right? Because you remember being, like, a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old, like, you didn't know shit. Like, you thought, like,
Oh, yeah.
like, the smallest things were the world to you. You didn't have a bigger picture of
Yeah.
anything else. And I think a lot of the time too, like, you could say the same thing about, like, students in the beginning because they don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, so they can't really see the big picture. They don't really get it. They don't get how, the sequence of techniques chain together and if one's not working, you can fall back on, A, B, and C, whatever, and they don't see that big picture yet. So, I mean, you can't really get frustrated.
Yeah.
You
Especially
just have
like
to be patient.
like something simple. Like sometimes there are like a simple technique. Like I was talking to a guy that was getting stuck in this position. I was telling like just shrimp. It's like what? Like just shrimp. It's like, oh, so that's what we do shrimps. Like, yeah, that's what we do shrimps. For the places like that, you're stuck like that. You can just bring your feet up and just bobbing out. Like, no, just shrimp. That's simple. Get your hips out of there. It's that simple. But like just having the perspective of just more
Yeah. Why are
movement
you
to make big difference in the game.
right? Or it's like, why are you making this so hard? It's not hard. Like I tease some of my
Yeah.
students and I'll just be like,
Yes.
jujitsu is not hard. You're making it hard. You do the you
I just trying
like
to
you
like
just said,
break
like
it.
the shrimp. You do the movements, like the hip escape. You do it in most of the shit that you do in when you're rolling, right? So do it.
Yeah, like, it's hard to see for them. Well, it looks like we still have some technical difficulties with the recording, and I'm not sure why it's happening. Well, I'll try to figure it out before the next episode. So, till next time, make sure to follow, subscribe, and share with your teammates, your training partners. Keep a lookout, and we're out. Till next time, this is Matt Matters Podcast. Out.